Hello interioristas, I'm Ash Appleton. Welcome back to An African Eye. My most popular video ever was on 5 interior styling mistakes and how to fix them. So I thought it'd be kind of cool to give you 5 more interior styling mistakes. So keep watching. How many of these are you guilty of? I know I've made some of these mistakes in the past. Mistake number 1, an accent wall for the sake of having an accent wall. What do I mean by this? An accent wall creates a focal point to your room, and you achieve this by maybe painting the wall one color or wallpapering it or putting something else on it like a huge piece of artwork or something, but it's still got to relate to the rest of the room. So you can't just paint a wall and then have no relation to what else is going on. So how you fix this is you pick out pieces or accents or colors from the wall and you tie them into the decorative pieces you have in your room, the furniture, the fittings, the artwork. So it all sort of hangs together nicely. There's a sense of balance. It feels like the wall belongs in the room. Mistake number 2, matchy furniture sets. As in, you have a 3-piece and a 2-piece sofa set, and you've got 2 matching armchairs, and they're all in the same style and the same color. And in the dining room, you've got your table, the dining table, and the chairs, and they all match again. Same style, same color. Then you go up to the bedroom, and your bed matches the bedside tables. You really want to try as hard as you can to avoid doing this. Because what you do if you do this, you create a sort of a showroom type ambience in your interior, which you want to avoid, because you're aiming for a look that says you've curated, you've collected over time, that things haven't come in at the same time. So if everything matches, it just looks like you went out one day and bought everything. And because these are all big pieces of furniture, they're kind of costly mistakes to make. So how do you fix it? If you have upholstered furniture, if you've got a sofa, you can easily upholster one of the sofas in a different color, and immediately you break up the look. In terms of dining chairs and tables, if it's wood, you can just paint either the table or paint the chairs, and then you definitely overcome this. And what works really well is if you mix styles. So like you can have like an old traditional, vintage type table with really nice sort of modern perspex or plastic chairs. That really looks good. It gives whatever your style is, it just gives a bit of energy and a bit of pop to your room. And in the bedrooms, again, do the same thing. Swap out the bedside tables, for example. They're easy to sell, or you could paint them again and keep the bed, because the bed is a big investment, so you don't have to overcome that. Number 3, and this is quite a common one, a rug that's too small for the space. Rugs are supposed to anchor and balance a room, so they have to fit quite well. And you need to find the sweet spot between covering the entire floor or a rug that's floating in the middle of the room. So there's certain things you can do to make sure this happens. In terms of the living area, make sure at least the rug comes out of the sides of the sofa and the front legs of the sofa are resting on the rug. That way it's kind of anchoring it. So make sure all the front legs of the sofa rest on the rug. In the dining area, and this is quite a tricky one, you need to make sure that you can pull out the dining chairs and they're still resting on the rug. You can pull them out, they're still resting on the rug. So you need to measure around the area with the chairs pulled out before you buy the rug. And that's exactly what I did here. This rug actually was made to measure here in Nairobi, but I made sure that I could still pull out the chairs and they're resting on the rug. In bedrooms, you usually have the rug at the end of the bed, so it's protruding from the end of the bed and at the sides. What I've done here, I've actually kind of reversed it because I didn't have much room, so the rug is at the top end of the bed, but it's still coming out at the sides, so you get what I'm talking about. Number 4, not having a color palette in your interior. So you haven't actually thought through about the kind of colors you're going to use, so that you just sort of picking colors randomly and they don't tie in and they're just sort of all over the place. What happens is, so it's kind of jarring. You're walking into a room, maybe it's purple, and the next room is pink, and then there's yellow, and there's a bit of orange and green. All the accessories are different random colors. So, this is a real problem, and this is the quickest way to give your interior that sort of inconsistency and lack of cohesion. So you really have to think about a color palette. The opposite of not having a color palette is being too matchy-matchy and too predictable. So what you end up doing is creating a very static looking space. And what you do to avoid this is create maybe a color palette in terms of pick out 3 main colors, 3 dominant colors, for example, and then pick out 2 others that are either backdrop colors, you know, like they're more neutral, maybe gray or white or beige, and maybe they're a bit softer. And you kind of sprinkle them. So in one room, you could have the main color, which is maybe purple, and that's dominant. But in the next room, it's not as dominant. It's more sort of in the background. So you're sort of playing around with what you're emphasizing, but you're still using the same color palette. I hope this makes sense. Or you could pick out a range of colors, if they're strong ones, and then the same color palette, but then softer shades of those strong colors. So it's kind of, you know, you're creating this up and down, high and low, energy, whatever, you know what I mean? You're mixing and matching. So it's not predictable, you know, and people get a bit more, you know, you create a feeling of more energy in your space. Mind you, this is a huge area, and I will make a video going forward about how to use color. Number 5, and this is one mistake I've definitely made in the past, is hanging curtains too low. You need to hang your curtains as high up the wall as you can, and then that way you create a feeling of grandeur, a feeling of luxe. The room looks bigger because it draws your eye up, because you're looking up, your eye extends up the length of the wall, and this is a great trick for small rooms because it makes the room much bigger, makes the windows look bigger. So always try and hang your curtains as high up as you can. And another thing you want them to do, you want them to sort of fall to the floor. You don't want them to sort of get cut off midway. That kind of looks, you know, a bit sort of cheap. So try and get your curtains to drape and to fall on the floor. And again, this creates a bit of luxury, especially when you're using cheaper fabric. So this is one thing you can do to fix. I've got a nasty curtain situation going on in my apartment, apart from the studio. We've actually done this, as you can see. So, you know, when I do the curtains in my living room, I'm definitely going to do this. I want to, you know, fix this problem. The fact that my curtains hang not very high, and then I hate the curtain rods as well. But that's another story. So there you have it. 5 more common interior styling mistakes. I hope this is helpful. What do you think? Let me know. Maybe you don't agree with me. I mean, I still love to hear what you think. Basically, accent wall issues, too small a rug, matchy furniture, no color palette, and then hanging your curtains way too low. Anyway, let me know what you think. Comment below. Share, like, subscribe. Don't forget to ping the notification button, and let's keep the conversation going around this. See you soon.